Welcome back to S.T.F.C. This is my YouTube channel. I'll be reacting to and making commentary on the 2020 Euro group stage games, as well as predicting the knockout stage games. Here we go. Group A. So I had Italy first place, Turkey second place, Switzerland third, and Wales in fourth. It turned out Italy in first place. That was correct. They were very dominant. They had great defense and very good attacking play. For Turkey, they finished fourth. I had them in second. They were probably the biggest disappointment of the whole tournament. They did not score a single goal, and everyone kind of had high hopes for them, and they really did not live up to those hopes. Switzerland, third place. I had that correct. They were solid, not much to say about them. As a typical Switzerland performance, I would say. And fourth place, Wales. They actually finished second. I would I underestimated Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey as a duo. One of the surprises of the tournament, I would say. As for Group B, we had Belgium first place. That was correct. They were very strong, very organized. It almost looked like pinball instead of soccer at times, especially against Russia. That they just absolutely dominated the entire game and played exactly how I'd expect them to play against Russia. In second place, we had Denmark. Um, Denmark, I got that correct. The loss of Eriksson was too bad. It was good to see him recovering. That's good to see. It was a very scary moment, and I don't understand how they went on with the game after that. I think very unlucky for Denmark, and they probably could have challenged Belgium for first place if that game wouldn't have gone on, and they would have started the game the next day. The team seemed to play for Eriksson after that, but it was just a very traumatic incident that happened, and it was just unfortunate for them. Um, Finland, I had in third place, and that was correct. They were the other team in that Christian Eriksen game. They were lucky that play was restarted because I don't think they would have done anything in this tournament if that had happened. I think that's probably the reason they're third and not fourth place because Russia ended up defeating them. As for Russia, I had them in fourth place, which was also correct. They played the way I'd expect them to play, and they're probably a little unfortunate that Finland got the win over Denmark. They maybe could have had a chance at moving on, but they will not be moving on. They are eliminated now. So I had that whole group correct. This is the only group I got correct, sadly. As for Group C, I had Netherlands in first place. That was correct. Wijnaldum and Dumfries were amazing. Dumfries I did not know of before this tournament, and he came out there and scored. I think he's a defender too, which is shocking. Wijnaldum used to play for Newcastle and Liverpool, so he's well known for me. He was impressive, and I didn't think he was going to take the main role on that team. I thought maybe Memphis Depay would. Second place in Group C, we had Austria. I also got that correct. David Alaba kind of ran the whole team. He was being played in defense, and it almost looked like he was playing quarterback out there. Like he was just running everything that was going on the field. In third place, I predicted North Macedonia. They did not finish in third. They finished last. They were too reliant on Goran Pandev, and that's what cost them. It was good experience, good tournament experience for them, and hopefully they can keep the momentum going in the World Cup qualifiers because right now they are above Germany in that, and they actually beat Germany. I want to say 6-2 or something crazy like that, and so hopefully they can keep that momentum going and find themselves in the next World Cup. As for fourth place, I had Ukraine. I definitely underestimated them. They finished third, and they looked really strong. They did make it into the knockout stage. I knew about Zinchenko from Man City already, but I did not realize how many decent players they had for Dynamo Kiev. Um, it seems like almost the whole Dynamo Kiev squad plays for the Ukrainian national team, and it was just a solid team. As for Group D, I had first place England. I had that correct. They're lucky and also not lucky to get first place. Lucky to get first place because of how bad they played. Maybe they could have been throwing some games, but Harry Kane just didn't seem to show up, and they only scored 2 goals in the group stage, which is not good enough for this tournament. Um, and they're unlucky to finish first place in this group because then they're gonna have to play the second place team from Group F, which is Germany. So that's a tough first round matchup for them. In second place in this group, I had Croatia, which was also correct. They missed Mario Mandzukic in that first game against England. I'm not sure if that was their first ever game without Mandzukic, but they needed some time to figure out how to play without him since he retired from international play. And they started to turn it on later on in the group stage, and Modric ended up taking over against Scotland and winning that game for them, putting them through to the next round. In third place, I had Scotland. They finished last in the group. Although they finished last, they really fought hard, and their fans should be proud of them because it's been so long since they've been to a tournament, and they really didn't play as bad as some of the other teams, and they're unlucky to not make it through to the next round. Um, fourth place, I had Czech Republic. They finished third, and they moved on to the next round. I was surprised by them, especially in the Scotland game with the Patrick Schick goal, or Patrick Schick, sorry. He had an amazing goal from almost halfway, and that was shocking. I did not expect that result from Czech Republic, and they made it on to the next round. And I expected them to be one of the worst teams in the tournament, and yeah, they got that one completely wrong. For Group E, Poland in first place. They finished last in the group. So one of my worst predictions of the tournament, probably my worst prediction, I would say. They were too reliant on Lewandowski, um, and if they're not gonna be able to find another star or someone to just um, step up the quality of the team, they're not they might qualify for the next World Cup, but they're not going to make it out of the group stage in the next World Cup, and that's what happened in 2018, and that's what happened in this tournament as well. They can make it to the tournament, but they don't play in the tournament. Sweden, I had them in second place. They finished first place. They did not have Zlatan, but that was not a problem for them. They played in the 2018 World Cup without Zlatan, and they did just fine with that. They made it into, I want to say, the round of 16. But yeah, they have just a really strong team, and they don't even need their star player. Um, but they do have a rising star, Isak Alexander from Real Sociedad. He's going to be special. I saw him play against Spain, and he was just dribbling through guys no problem, and he's just got amazing skill, and I can't wait to see where he goes from here. For third place in the group, I picked Spain, and Spain finished second. I thought they were going to struggle. In the first game against Sweden, they struggled, and they just needed time to figure things out. They're without star players that were not selected for the squad, like Sergio Ramos. But they turned it on and started to figure out how to play with each other later on in the tournament, beating Slovakia 5-0 in the final group stage game. In fourth place, I predicted Slovakia. They finished third, and they're a surprisingly good team. I forgot some of their players, Did not realize how many good players Slovakia had. They have Hamšík, the former Napoli player, and the center back from Inter Milan, Skriniar, um, and the Newcastle goalie Martin Dubravka, and they just had a solid team, and I just underestimated them. For Group F, the group of death, I had Portugal finishing first. They finished third. Um, they played solid. It's a tough group to play in because you also have Germany and France, and yeah, they need to play better if they're gonna go far in this tournament. What they showed against Germany and France is not gonna um, get them far. They're too reliant on Ronaldo, and Pepe's getting old, and so I predicted them to win the whole thing in the first video, and I don't think they're gonna do that now. Um, for second place in this group, I picked France. They finished first. They got lucky against Germany, got an own goal. Um, the I can't remember who it was, crossed it into the box, and the German defender put it into the back of his own net. And then they just kind of closed the game out from there. It was a pretty early goal in the game, and they just kind of held onto the ball and didn't let Germany get any chances. Um, and against Hungary, they dominated, but they just couldn't score for the longest time. Eventually, I believe they did win that game, although they couldn't get a win. Um, they have nothing to be ashamed about, um, and yeah, they're one of the surprises of the tournament for sure. All right, so now I'm gonna predict the knockout stage. Um, I'm gonna be doing this on UEFA's tournament predictor website. So let's get this going here. All right, so the first game we've got Belgium versus Portugal. This is going to be one of the best games of the tournament. I feel like it's going to be a lot of desperation, especially in these knockout games. I just think Belgium is too organized, too strong. They've got a well-rounded team. Portugal, they just they have stars, but I don't think they have the team to move on. So I'm going to pick Belgium. As for Italy versus Austria, I think Italy is just way too strong. Austria is kind of reliant on Alaba. Although he might not be scoring all the goals, he's involved in them all, it seems like. Um, and if Italy just shut that down, which I think they will, I don't think they'll have a problem. I feel like Italy will probably have possession for most of the game, and so I don't see Austria really having a chance. All right, France versus Switzerland. France shouldn't struggle. Um, they should start to dial it in the knockout stage of the tournament. And Switzerland, they can make it to the knockout stage, but they don't really do much once they get there. They don't really have the team to do that. And France just have probably stars till the third string in every position on their team, I would say. So I'll pick France. All right, Croatia, Spain. We've got Spain, who's probably the favorite. Croatia, they did make it to the World Cup final in 2018, so they know how to get far in these tournaments. Um, both teams picked up momentum going through the group stage, starting off pretty weak and building to strong results at the end. Um, Spain just had a big win against Slovakia 5-0, so I think maybe there's just too much of a rush right now, and they might kind of slack against Croatia. So I'm gonna pick Croatia. I think Modric is playing very well, and I see them going through. All right, Sweden versus Ukraine. There's no powerhouse teams in this matchup. They're two like mid-range, mid-ranked teams. Um, Sweden have experience in these big tournaments. Ukraine hasn't been to a big tournament since I want to say 2010. I could be wrong there. No, 2012, I want to say. Um, but Sweden just made it to the knockout stage of the World Cup a few years back, and I just think they have the better team. So Sweden wins the game. All right. England Germany rematch of the 1966 World Cup final. Um, this is one of the biggest games of the tournament. This will be in Wembley, so in London. England will be back in there, boys. You'll hear football's coming home all game long, and I think they'll win. I think Germany struggled with Hungary. I think England will figure it out. They're probably one of the two or three most talented teams, or one of the top two or three most talented teams in the whole tournament. So I'll pick England to go on. It's going to be a tough one. It could really go either way. Netherlands versus Czechia. The Netherlands, I think, are just too dominant. I underestimated the Czechs coming into the tournament, but against a team like the Netherlands, they really like just crushed everyone in the group, and they really haven't had a problem yet. And I think the Netherlands will be playing teams that are similar to what they saw in the group stage. The Czechs are similar to the teams they saw in the group stage, so I'm going to pick the Netherlands to go through. All right, Wales versus Denmark. Wales have a great duo, but I think Denmark has the stronger all around team. Without Eriksson, I think they'll be playing for Eriksson, and I'm going to pick Denmark to go through. All right, now on to the quarterfinals. We have Belgium versus Italy. The winner of this game, I could see winning the whole tournament. These after the group stage, I would say these are my two favorites going into the knockout round. And it's unfortunate that they have to play this early in the knockout round. I would like to see this as the final because both teams were just so good. You have Lukaku and De Bruyne and Hazard, both Hazard brothers, Courtois in Belgium. You've got Chiellini, you've got Chiesa, Immobile. You've got some great players on Italy too, Donnarumma. I think Italy is going to win. Um, Belgium get into these situations where they're in a knockout tournament and they just don't produce when they need to. So I'm going to pick Italy. All right, France versus Croatia. Rematch of the 2018 World Cup final. I think France is going to turn it on when they get to the knockout stage. Um, it's it is a quarterfinals matchup, but I don't know that France is gonna let them be bothered by Croatia. I I think they'll just run right through them. So I'll pick France to move on. All right, Sweden versus England. I think this was a rematch. This is a rematch of a 2018 knockout game in the World Cup finals. I'm not sure what round. I think England is just too strong. Sweden, they do have the experience, but England made it farther last time, and England just have so much talent. I'm going to pick them to go through. All right, Netherlands versus Denmark. The Netherlands are just stacked with talent. Denmark are missing their best player, and they've been playing inspired, but I think the Netherlands will end the run of the Danes, and the Netherlands are going to move on. All right, so semifinal time. We've got Italy France rematch of the '06 World Cup final. France have so much talent. Italy's been playing so well. Um, I'm gonna pick Italy. I think it's their tournament. I think it's their time to shine. And France, I think pressure will start mounting on them, and they'll they'll end up losing. All right, England versus Netherlands. This will be played in Wembley Stadium, um, but I think the pressure will get to it, the English. I'm gonna pick the Netherlands. The English have more talent, but I think the Netherlands are just gonna be prepared, and they'll pounce on the English mistakes. All right, now the finals: Italy Netherlands. This is not a common one that I've seen so far. I feel like maybe some more people will start picking this one. Um, I think a lot of people are going to have France or Belgium or England in this final. Um, but here we go, Italy, Netherlands. This is going to be a really good final. I think Italy just have so much momentum going for them. Both teams obviously have momentum going into this final because you just have to win to move on. But Italy is just playing so well. I'm going to pick Italy as the European champions. All right. So there you have it. Italy winning the Euros. That's going to happen because I said it did. Or I said it's going to. Make sure to like and subscribe and help me make more videos. I wish to get some more out soon. And yeah, thank you. Have a good day.